I know. Uh, it's coming up here. I just want to say thank you, especially to your governor, for the opportunity to be here with you today. I have been having a blast, truly having a blast. You guys are going to find out I like to roam around, so you're not safe anywhere you're at. Yeah, no, thanks. Made me lose my train of thought. Totally went. What I want to say though is I'm one of those people that I love to read. I read through high school. One of my favorite things to read was comic books. One of my favorite comic books was Superman. And that's what we're going to talk about here. I'm going to use Superman quotes. And it applies to lions very well. And I truly believe that. And okay. There we go. Where? There we go. I just want to say greetings from our international president. And he truly does love lions. This man has a passion you wouldn't believe. Down in Brazil, we were able to go to an event. They opened up a new clinic. His Lions Club helped fund it. And it was, I mean, they were very proud of it. It was in a community that had nothing, literally nothing there. And that's the difference that we can make as lions. That's how you can become a super lion. I think you're gonna have to move it forward for me because
Okay.
it doesn't want to work.
Oh, you got it.
One more. So the only way you know how strong you are is by testing your limits. And I've seen that already with your lions here of your district and of your multiple district. Everything that you're stepping up and doing. Sometimes you just got to jump into things. Feet first, not knowing what you're going to do. I found out the hard way last year. Our immediate past president, Brian Sheehan, was our LCIF chairman. It's nice to have a boss that's close to you, huh? From your own multiple. And he came up to me and he's kind of voluntold me. He said, Bert, you know what? We need to hold some kind of fundraiser in our multiple for LCIF. Well, guess what? We've never had one in our multiple, a large one. And I decided to put on a gala. Never done it before in my life. Our multiple had never done one. And I decided that, well, my first goal was, let's not lose money. Yes, because guess whose pocket it was coming out of? Mine. And they only give you a budget of $700 LCIF, so I don't think it would have covered everything. But lo and behold, before we got too far into it, I had already broke even. We had sold enough tables and meals that the event was going to break even. And it's like, yay! And then all of a sudden, before the event was over, with everything that happened, we ended up giving out 100 Melvin Jones Fellows or Progressive Fellowships at this event. I was just hoping to get 20 of them out of there. After that, I was hoping, like I said, to break even. Get so much money between LCIF donation. This is going back and forth. Sorry about that. Between donations, fundraising events there, the silent auction, legacy donating, and lead or major donors. Just take a guess, a wild guess, how much money we ended up making.
20,000.
120. 200,000. $200,000. My goal was to break even, and we ended up making $200,000. Look what you can do if you take that opportunity. and try. It's out there. But you got to trust in yourself and in others and test your limits. And I'm so glad that Brian Sheehan challenged me to do that. Because I would never have guessed that we could have done that. And it's still happening today. In fact, right now, today, our multiple is holding the LCIF gala again. So I'm crossing my fingers that they're reaching that goal of 200,000 or more. Dave?
Yep.
Who's George Hill?
So do you want to be a Superlion? Oh, come on, we got better from then. Do you want to be a Superlion? Let's just stop here. I know we did a little roar. Everybody stand up. All right, you guys are falling asleep here.
You folks have
I don't want to put you to sleep yet. All right, repeat after me. I feel great. Life's a joy. Proud to be a lion. All right. All right. That's said well. But again, test your limits, and you can become a super lion. I'll explain a little bit more here. Because you are stronger than you think you are. Every day we're helping people. We're making our marks out there every day. And you don't, I mean, when you donate to your foundation here for your sight and hearing foundation, or to LCIF, you're changing lives. Because I found that out when I became a lion. You know, all of us that day you put the pin on, you know, you join Lions, but then there's the day that aha moment when you truly became a lion. My day came because I was so known as Mr. Lion in our community. And that was fortunate. I was at a school event. My daughter played basketball. I was in the concession area, just standing there, and all of a sudden, this lady came up and put her hand on my shoulder and said, "You're a Lions member." And I go, "Yes." She goes, "Thank you." Or she goes, "Because of you and the Lions of New York Mills, you saved my daughter." And I said, you know, explain to me how we did that. She goes, "Well, my daughter, you guys bought her eyeglasses, gave her an eye screening and bought her glasses. In school, she was very disruptive. She was getting D's and F's, and I could not control her at home. She was quite combative. We didn't realize that she had a vision problem. Now, because of you buying her a pair of eyeglasses, she is now getting C's and B's, and I have my daughter back." You Lions do the same thing every day. You just don't get that thank you. But you're doing it. And I'm saying thank you to you for that. So when you do reach in your pocket and make that donation, or your club makes that donation, it's helping people. And you're a lot stronger than you think you are. Because of that, you're touching people in the world every day. But sometimes it takes a leap of faith. Like I said, I jumped into this here. I joined Lions for a selfish reason. Just talking to your, hopefully your second vice district governor-elect. My boss told me I had to join Lions. I was working at the newspaper. I thought this was a wonderful opportunity to get to know the people of New York Mills. You know, the movers, the shakers, you know, the president of the bank, all of the owners of the businesses and whatnot. And yeah, I said, sure, because he was paying my dues anyway. suggestion for some of you business owners. Voluntold your employees that they need to do this. Well, that was in October. And the funny thing is, come March, you know, nominating committee, they're out there going, looking for people to be officers. Well, they asked me to be treasurer. Yeah, I can do that. I've been our township treasurer for many years. And I said, great job. Well, my good friend came up and said that, you know, they actually asked him to be secretary. I didn't know what was gonna happen to me, because, buggers. I apologize. But he came up and wanted to change job. And I said, sure. I didn't realize secretary was a lifelong position. All they told me was, oh, you gotta fill out a few records here, write a little report, and you're good. Yeah. I found out there's two ways of getting out of the job. Yeah, one, I'm here in front of you, so I didn't die. The other is you have to become district governor. That's all I got out of it. And they keep coming back to me and I go, no. But if I hadn't taken that chance of jumping in and doing something and finding out what Lions was, if you want to know what Lions really do, become club secretary. But just tell them the most you're going to do it is maybe 5 years. That way you give yourself an out. But it is a fun job. You learn a lot. Because only the amazing can be, created by facing your fears. And when you think about it, what is your fear? You district governors, council chair. When you guys are setting up your goals for the year, what are you thinking about? What kind of ways are you going to succeed if you don't take chances? Because that's the problem with us. We keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting new results. All right, everybody clasp your hands together. All right, now take and move your hands over one finger.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes, it feels weird, doesn't it? It's called change. You gotta get over it.
But did this happen?
It's uncomfortable. But if we don't change,
Thank you.
are we gonna be here in 20 years, 50 years? Will Lions be here in 100 years if we don't change, right, Union?
Right.
Because we need to change. We have to look at things differently. We can't always expect people to run a Lions Club the old way. Because if we don't make those changes, we won't be here. And others can be super Lions. But don't you have it? There's always that one person that wants to bring you down. That naysayer, that sniper, I like to call him in the back of the room. Oh, we've always done it that way. The commercial that you guys seen, pancakes. How about we try waffles? Oh, some of the best ideas come from new members. Just as Daniel was talking about and others. We gotta take a chance. We gotta bring in new people because that brings in new ideas, new opportunities. Because if we don't start doing those things, we are going to end up being that dinosaur. And we don't want to become extinct. We can do so many things. If you guys, like I said earlier, if you find that lion that you can mentor and move them up, send them to leadership institutes. Because it makes a difference. It really made a difference with one individual that I've been fortunate enough to be a facilitator numerous times in our multiple. And one of the very first ones, well, I didn't realize I was doing this here to this individual, the effect I had on him. I'm just me. And a year later, I seen this line that was in my class, and he came up and said, "Thank you, Bert." And again, the power of words and listening to people and working with them. He said, "You saved me." And again, I'm like, what? He goes, "I was in really bad position in my life when I went to the Leadership Institute." He said, "I don't know why I went." He said, "Somehow my club talked me into going to this event. I went there with no expectations. I didn't want to be there." Because he said, "I was going through a divorce. I lost my job. I truly didn't want to be living." I'm like, wow. But he said, "Bert, when I was in class, I felt you were talking to me." That's what we can do, people. That's what we can do as Lions every day. Staying positive, talking about our association and how you can change people. And it's people within our own group. You don't even realize it, but it's people within our own organization, how we can make that difference. So when you hear those naysayers, those ones in the back of the room, work around them, go around them. There's a Lions Club in our multiple that had 2 members that was driving away members out of their Lions Club or keeping new ones from joining. They passed a rule that yes, you can say no, but it's got to be positive and you have to have a new option available, something positive. Well, lo and behold, one of those members quit. And the other member came up and said, "Was I one of those members?" They didn't even realize they were doing it. You want to know what Lions Club that was? Bird Island.
That's the Allen.
2.5 hours south of New York Mills. So it happens everywhere. There are people, and his Lions Club has grown since then, as you know. So again, you got to do things, you got to change things, you got to change those parameters. Because again, our dreams may seem impossible. But if we don't take that first step and try things, nothing's going to change. Again, back in 1959, when you guys started your site foundation, did you realize where it was going to grow to? You should thank those Lions that started it then, because of the difference that we're making today. You're keeping that promise for Helen Keller. And it's amazing when you think about it. I mean, 100 years ago that we were challenged to do something. And we took that challenge personally, and we're doing it. We need to do that every day. When you get challenged or asked for that $10 or whatever, or somebody's going to color their beard. I mean, what the heck? I did my hair 2 years ago. I don't look good in purple. But again, things will happen if you make that opportunity. Okay. Because again, a lot of responsibility comes with great power. Again, your district governor, your council chair, all of you governor-elects coming up, there's a lot of responsibility. But for them to succeed, they need your help. They need your help each and every day to do your job. If they ask you to do something, jump up and volunteer. Don't be that one waiting in the back, because you never know what opportunities can come The day I said, sure, I'll switch jobs with you, I never dreamt I'd be standing in front of you today as a director. I just wanted to help people. And help our community first and foremost is what it was. Okay? So you guys are awesome. And again, our dreams lift us. If you have a dream or a goal in your life, get one. Because if you don't start dreaming and wanting to see something improve, nothing's going to improve. But it needs you to do that. We had one in our own district a few years ago. It ended up being one of the top 3 new projects in the world. It's called Project New Hope. It's for veterans. So this one veteran came up and he asked, he wanted to create a camp. You know, and it was mainly for veterans to go to a place, a safe place that they could, you know, talk to other veterans. We had counselors there, and this project has won over great guns in our multiple. They can't figure out how many lives they've saved, but as you know, suicide amongst veterans, we lose at least 1 every day to suicide. And that's the neat thing about this camp, because it's a camp free of charge to any veteran of any conflict. They just have to come sign up for it. It's family orientated, so husband and wife, spouse, however you want it, and kids come to the event. We'll take the kids to the side, and it's campfire counseling. That's where the most productive times come. They have a campfire out there, and there's a counselor there, and all of the participants that are there for the event are sitting around this campfire. And all of a sudden, one starts speaking. And pretty soon, another one starts speaking. Pretty soon, the whole family is crying because they didn't realize what was going through the veteran's mind. The things that they experienced. So many spouses said, I didn't know that. They never talked about it. And that opportunity came from one lion that had an idea. And guess what? We didn't shoot him down. We didn't tell him he can't do that. We said, go for it. And that's now one of our foundations in our multiple. It's Project New Hope. And if you guys want to know more about it, come and talk to me. I'll get you the information if you guys want to pick up another project for your multiple. Or if your district wants to do something. But it is a very worthwhile project. Because again, our international president for Regio, he wants you to stay proactive. Have that vision. Bring your vision to life, as I said, and stay positive. I mean, you know, don't listen to Daniel. He gets kind of downer. No, you got to have those fun things in life and do some great things out there. Go ahead.
You want words too, huh?
He is. Because there's a superhero in all of us if we have the courage to put the cape on. Yeah, I'm trying to get my timing right here. So, excuse me while I.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm the zoom on this camera. Take it all off. Is that a different fundraiser?
Normally, I'm a little more prepared. I apologize, but some people. Have the courage to put your cape on.
Oh, I love it.
But we're all super lions. I can't find it. There we go. And you don't have to wear a cape. All you got to do is be involved and active. And what I also want to do now is call your governor up, because She is your Superlion here.
Round, Jerry.
Because again, with your support, you can make her a truly super lion. And I would love to see your district end in the positive. And the only way to do that is with your support and your help. And I don't know. So dream big, because there's only one thing greater than being an Alliance member, and that's building a Lions Club or inviting somebody else to be a Lions member. So, thank you all. We're doing good job. No, right. Now, do I turn it back over or do I? It's what I don't like that. Here he is. Now, transforming. Our district governor will now present our district award. Great blessings. I'll ask you, stuff is over, don't go.